Good morning. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much for making time today as we celebrate one of the best photojournalists of our time. Someone who I admire, someone who has given his whole life to being on the front line. Shortly, we will be welcoming Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA, and then we kickstart off the program. Again, we have a lot of coffee and tea, so if you feel a little bit cold, there's a table just outside. You can go and grab a coffee. We will begin in about 2-3 minutes from now. Thank you for coming once again. A very good morning. Thank you all for coming. May I call this meeting to order? I'm sure the people behind that column can't see me. I don't know what I can do better. But thank you all for coming today as we celebrate one of the best journalists and photojournalists of our time, ABUBAKER LUBOWA. I have served with him on the front line. I have covered stories with him. Mr. ABUBAKER is selfless. He has been covering elections, protests, basically Uganda's democracy rebuilt for over 12 years. I have seen him put the cameras down to save souls in the middle of it all. We know about him for that. I have seen him defending press freedom in this country. And it's my absolute honor as his colleague to host this event today as we look back and walk back in time to review some of the best pieces he has done over the years. My name is Solomon Serwanja. Thank you all for coming. I recognize the press men and women in the room. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for going where other people fear. Thank you for bringing us the news as it unfolds. Thank you for risking it all to make sure that the country is informed. In a special way, I want to, on behalf of the Uganda Law Society, appreciate you for coming. We want to thank the Uganda Law Society for being behind this event as we celebrate the authentic work of ABUBAKER LUBOWA. We want to thank the Nation Media Group. We want to also thank the Daily Monitor for being part of this event. Today we reflect back on press freedom in this country through the eyes of ABUBAKER LUBOWA and the lens. Later on we will be looking at these different images and what was really behind his mind taking some of these pictures. What does he have to say about Uganda's democracy? And so he will be joining us shortly. But once again, I want to appreciate all of you for coming. Without any further ado, I want us to stand up and honor Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA as he comes into the room and give him a standing ovation for the work he has done and appreciate him for everything. Mr. LUBOWA, today the people in this room want to appreciate you, want to honor you, want to appreciate you deeply from the bottom of our hearts for the work that you have done. And we are in this room, we have all gathered here to give you your flowers when you can still smell them. Mr. LUBOWA, you can come into the room and we love on you as we begin today. Today, yes, Mr. LUBOWA, we love you. We appreciate the work that you have done for this country. We really, really, really appreciate you for the work that you have done. Today is your day. Today, on this Press Freedom Day, we celebrate you, your effort, your hard work, everything. Yes, you're very welcome, Mr. LUBOWA, for coming. Please take your seat. Thank you for coming. We want to recognize also the arrival of the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society, Mr. Arthur Simwe. Thank you for coming and your entire team. We appreciate you as well. We want to also appreciate the presence of the CEO of the Uganda Law Society, Ms. Christina Wori. Please, you can come as well and join us in front here. And of course, as the team takes their seats. Please have your seats. Thank you for coming once again. Firstly, I would love you to introduce yourself to your neighbor, get to know their names. Isano, you know the lady seated next to you. You don't know. Okay. Thank you all guys for coming. Today I'm overjoyed. Thank you all for coming. So today I am overjoyed because of one thing. Because someone or an institution out of the newsroom is here to recognize the hard work that we do. Let's give a round of applause to the Uganda Law Society. Oftentimes we don't get recognized, our efforts do not get recognized. The men and women who have been on the forefront of telling stories, who by the way are in this room, will tell you that storytelling is not an easy job. Maybe you don't know what happens in the newsroom every day. So I want to give you a sneak peek into what really happens in the newsroom. When we wake up, we leave our homes, drive our cars to our different news organizations. The day usually starts with a morning meeting, which is called the editorial meeting, that is usually chaired by the chief news editor. And we are assigned stories, or stories, everyone gives the idea of how the day looks like. And you are assigned a story to go and cover. And then you come back and file that story and make sure that it airs or it is published in time. Now, sometimes you are assigned a story to go and cover protests. So you have to go and get your headgear, you have to go and get your press jacket. You literally are going on the front line. And sometimes we cover elections, campaigns. You know what happens in this country when it comes to campaigns. And when you're in the thick of it, you have to make very quick decisions on that picture that is going to communicate that story. And you only have one picture or two to give, so you have to take as many as possible for you to capture the story through your lens. So the art of photography, and I'll ask him a few questions as we go around, is interesting because he tells the entire story in a second, in a split of a second. And you should be able to look at that picture and interpret it with little text so that you understand the story. Sometimes these people even go an extra mile, by the way. And you know where you're running away from tear gas or chaos? Journalists are running towards chaos and tear gas. They want to take the best shot. Sometimes they even forget about their lives, you know, but they are in there to tell that story. So today we're here to appreciate Mr. LUBOWA and all the photojournalists in the room for the hard work that you've done. Without any further ado, I want to invite Ms. Christina Wori, who is the CEO here at the Uganda Law Society, to come and give us her opening remarks and also officially welcome us to this new building. I think we're one of the first few people to occupy it, the home of the Uganda Law Society. Ms. Christina Wori, you are very welcome, ma'am, to give us your opening remarks. Let's give her some love as she comes.
Good morning to you all. I've already been introduced as the CEO of Uganda Law Society, and here my task is to welcome you all today. But before I do this, I take this day to be a very important day in my life, in our lives, because I also love to see when there's press freedom in this country. I request all of us to first stand up and sing the national anthem and sing the East African anthem. Then we can go ahead. Thank you.
Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Can take our seats. Our guests today, representatives from government institutions, our development partners present and online, representative from civil society, from Uganda Law Society Council, members of Uganda Law Society joining physically and online, the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I welcome you all to our 17th Radical New Bar Live weekly press and public engagement, where we shall discuss the rise and the public awareness about our topical issues. We appreciate your presence and commitment to these important discussions. Today, we are having a special Radical New Bar. It is one of a kind. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this special art exhibition held in commemoration of the World Press Freedom Day. We are delighted to host you this morning as we come together to honor the invaluable role of the press, and in particular to pay tribute to the remarkable work of Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA, whose photograph has captured the heartbeat of our nation's story over the past 12 years. Through this powerful imagery, Mr. LUBOWA has brought alight stories that demand to be seen, stories that challenge us, move us, remind us of the vital role of journalists they play in upholding our human rights and the rule of law. This is a space today for dialogue, learning, collective appreciation of the work that often goes unseen and never appreciated, yet causes a great impact in this nation. Once again, you are welcome. I now take this opportunity to call back Mr. Cherwanja back here to invite the next person.
That's the CEO of the Uganda Law Society, Ms. Christine Awori. Thank you for your opening remarks. I would now want to invite the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society, Mr. Arthur Simwe, to come and also officially welcome us. You're welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Solomon. You forgot to add the Vice President of the Radical New Bar. That should be very clear in the mission, but that's fine. Ms. Pauline Nansamba Mutumba from the Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mr. Achim Veig from Frederick, I hope I've pronounced this properly. Some of these are very complicated, creative. Yeah, it's art. Miss Geraldine Kabami from Frederick Albert Stiftang, Mr. Robert Sempala from the Human Rights Network for Journalists, Mr. Robert Chirenga, the Executive Director, National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders, Mr. James Onen, Founder and CEO, RX Radio, Mr. Isaac Ogwal, African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation for Torture Victims, Mr. Alex Taremwa, Aga Khan University, Miss Nasali Maria, Nasali and Company Advocates, thank you for coming, the team from Nation Media Group. I've seen Mr. Alan Chekwech, the editor, Ms. Ida Narwega, Mr. Timothy Fule. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests, members of the press who are here, members of the Fourth Estate, the Uganda Law Society Council. I have the treasurer of the Radical Nuba. I call him the Governor Bank of ULS, which is yet to be established. We have other members of council online, members of the Uganda Law Society, those who are joining us online, and those who are here physically. Secretariat, the secretariat team, our hosts who are here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to you all. I now may not have been able to mention everyone, but we do welcome all of you and appreciate your being here. It's an honor and a privilege to stand before you today on this special occasion where we commemorate the World Press Freedom Day. Today, through this powerful exhibition, we reflect not only on the ideals of press freedom, but on the critical role that journalists play in safeguarding democracy and the rule of law in this country. We gather here in particular recognition of Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA, a distinguished photojournalist whose work over the last 12 years has captured the soul of Uganda's political and social realities through the lens of his camera, as you'll be able to see during the exhibition. ABUBAKER has consistently borne witness to events that have shaped our nation. His photographs are more than art. They are, evidence and testimony of acts of courage, which we believe every journalist should have, which is not exhibited by everyone. It's only for the brave. In covering stories that expose injustice and shine a light on human rights abuses, Mr. LUBOWA and journalists like him who do the same work serve the eyes and conscience of society. Without their bravery and commitment, much of what transpires in the corners of our nation would go unseen, undocumented, and unknown. It's because of them, the journalists like Dean LUBOWA, that we are able to see the dark side, the good side, and even the areas that an ordinary person would not have seen. We are able to see this. That shapes our nation. Today, we celebrate and reaffirm the indispensable role of the press in promoting transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. We also use this moment to strongly condemn all forms of censorship, intimidation, or violation of press freedoms, which we've witnessed in the recent past. It's not new that journalists have been subject of attacks, intimidation. Media houses have faced censorship. I wouldn't want to give, examples. Everyone has seen this happen. And as the Uganda Law Society, we take this opportunity to condemn all those forms that stifle dissent. Article 29 of the Constitution guarantees the right to freedom of expression, and any attack on journalists is an attack on democracy. It is through journalists, through their reporting, that we are able to receive this information, which, by the way, we are entitled to receive as the members of the public, as the citizens. This exhibition is not just a tribute to the resilience and power of journalism. It is also a call to action for greater protection of journalists, for openness in governance, and for a collective defense of the freedoms that make a just society possible. Just a few weeks ago, in one of our Rnblive events, we had the journalists here where definitely we had Mr. LUBOWA, those who went through a lot of torture, those who were clobbered while covering the Kawempe by-election. And we did have the various stakeholders where we entered into a commitment agreeing that we need to protect the journalists. Freedom of press must be protected. And as the Uganda Society, we intend to spearhead this move and make sure it's a reality for the good of the general public, not just the lawyers, not just the people seated in offices, but also for someone who's deep down in Chana Mukaka who needs to know what's happening because it is their right. This exhibition was curated in partnership with Zenson Art Space, and we thank them for their collaboration in making this possible. They've helped us in making this, moment a reality. And you will allow me appreciate the Executive Director of Zenson Art Space, Ms. Dorothy Nabunjo. I would like to invite her here so that we can see. May this be the first of the many partnerships that spotlight the intersection of art and advocacy in justice. Everyone has a contribution to make, and this is a contribution art can make in the fight for justice, equality, and rule of law, as well as accountability. To Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA, thank you for your lens, your voice, and your courage. We are deeply honored to be exhibiting your work today. As you can see, the walls of the ULS house are filled with ABUBAKER's lens, what he has captured in areas where some people have not been able to go. To the press, members of the press, we see you, we stand with you, and we will continue to defend your space, to speak the truth. That is the commitment we make as the Uganda Society, as the Radical New Bar. Thank you all for being part of this commemoration. Please allow me welcome Ms. Dorothy Nabunjo to give us a bit of a highlight of how we came up with this art. I know some of you will get an opportunity to closely look at the art, what we have around, but she's better placed to give us an explanation. She's art itself, as you can see. So, Dorothy, you're welcome. Thank you very much for listening to me, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. Congratulations, ABUBAKER LUBOWA. Wow, it has been a week of intensity, and literally we finished working today morning at 8 a.m. We spent the whole night here. I'm surprised I'm alive and awake, but it made us realize and appreciate what you do, and we had to give it our all, because that's what you do when you are out there trying to capture these memories for us, to tell us the truth. My name is Dorothy Nabunjo. I'm the director of Zenson Art Space. It's located in Kamocha, and what we do, we work with artists and we show their works, and I'm so excited that today we are showing the works of one of the most celebrated photojournalists in Uganda. Let's first give him a loud of applause. It is an honor. It's an honor for Zenson Art Space to collaborate with the Uganda Law Society in presenting through the lens of truth an exhibition by ABUBAKER LUBOWA. Exhibitions of this nature are still rare in Uganda, where many are only beginning to appreciate such bold and socially relevant artistic initiatives. As a celebrated photojournalist, ABUBAKER LUBOWA has spent over a decade documenting Uganda's social and political transformation. His images, many of which have headlined national publications, particularly the Daily Monitor, not only capture history in the making, but also shape how we come to understand it. His work forms a vital part of our collective memory, carefully selected by editors, supported by reporters, and woven into the stories that have defined a generation. This exhibition features a sneak peek of a selection of LUBOWA's photographs printed on backcloth paper and white backcloth materials that carry both cultural resonance and symbolic weight. Backcloth, one of Uganda's oldest textiles, is known for its durability and connection to the land. Now, these materials, steeped in tradition, serve as resilient collaborators, reminding us that truth, like backcloth, must be cultivated, preserved, and passed down. In an age of digital manipulation and AI-generated imagery, where truth itself is constantly contested, LUBOWA's work pulls us back to what is real, lived, and undeniable. His lens doesn't merely capture events, it interrogates them. Yeah? Through his eyes, we are offered a visual language of resistance, justice, and the unrelenting pursuit of freedom. Through the lens of truth also marks the celebration of World Press Freedom Day, honoring the indispensable role of journalism and the individuals who risk everything to bear witness. We are deeply grateful to the Uganda Law Society for their partnership and their ongoing commitment to justice and civic integrity, values that echo through every frame in this exhibition. Together, we reaffirm the essential role of artists and journalists as stewards of truth in democratic society. On behalf of Zenson Art Space, I invite you to experience this exhibition not simply as a retrospective, but as a call to consciousness. It is a living archive of resilience and a powerful reminder that even when truth is contested, it must be witnessed, honored, and never erased. Thank you so much. So now, when you've viewed the works, they are all on sale, and we shall be able to let you know if you love a piece of work that you'd like to take home or to your office, you kindly let us know. Thank you so much.
Dorothy Nabunjo, thank you very much. I can imagine what it took you to to come up with all this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time that we've been waiting for, and it's the photo exhibition. I would love to invite Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA and all of us, and I'm going to be handing you the microphone to come and take us around and show us the pictures that we are here to see, and what was in your mind really taking some of these images. And I'll tell you what my favorite is after the round tour of the different images. Mr. LUBOWA, come and show us the work that you've done and explain to us what was going through your mind. Karibu sana, you're welcome. Sound check.
Thank you, Solomon. I'll stand on the protocol, but on the protocol, let me just add a few individuals who haven't been introduced. You now also cover Parliament, but rarely. I would like to introduce to you my president, the president of Uganda Parliamentary Press Association. Please stand up and wave to the people. Yes, that's Sam Ibanda Mugabe. You're welcome, sir. I would also want to show you part of my family. I think they haven't been introduced. My brother, whom I follow, is called Mahadi LUBOWA. And then one of the special people that I have in my life, and of course I was given a flower, as you know, but she really deserves this flower. I want to introduce to you my wife, Nuriat Namatovu. Please come. I'll tell you why when I'm giving my speech, why I'm giving her this flower. I won't say much now, but I'll talk about it later. So I want to welcome you, and this is the Radical Nyuba, where they bang, where they bang the tables. I promise I won't bang you, but at times when I'm out there, at times I bang the tables. Please take your seat. Thank you. Well, let me first of all, I don't know, Solomon, I don't know if it's, let me not give my speech now because I have a time when I'll be giving my speech. I've been told to take you through the images that we have here. I think I should start from this side. Well, some of the pictures, I took them some time back. Let me start with this one here. Please, you're free to stand where you can see from. You know, in this country, it's rare to get closer to the president. And we can see the president giving a high five to a villager. I took this picture during the Great Trek when the president was moving around from Luero, where they fought the Bush War. So this is where I took this picture from. This was in 2020, in January. So before he started the campaigns, he showed some power that he can really move. And on this day, he moved, I think it was around 20-something kilometers. And then the picture down here is for a man I respect and really give all the honors, and he's one of the reasons as to why we are here. The day the president of the Uganda Law Society and the head of the Radical Nyuba was summoned at the CID headquarters in Chiwuli. He was in company of those who believe in, I don't know if I call it radicalism, I should call it who believed in what he was saying and doing. So here is one of the lawyers, Counsel Gawaya Tegule, who represented him. Of course, there was fear that he might be detained, but he was set free. This is a picture I took at the border of Congo, Bunagana, when the M23 had started invading some parts of DRC, and clearly you can see a woman carrying a mattress, a very big mattress on her head, and that's how most of them were moving with their luggage. You could find some with sheep, you could find some with all sorts of animals because they were running away from a war zone. So I took this from Bunagana, and I was with one of the street, we call him the street master of photography, Badi Okatumba. I'm glad to see him in the house. I don't know where Badru is seated. I think he has moved out, but on this day we traveled together. One thing I can tell you about when we are coming back, you know, we reached a time when the brakes of the car were no longer working, and you know, Bunagana from Kisoro, the roads and everything. But we managed to get back to Kampala. We reached Mbarara, we got new brakes. Anyway, I don't want to go that side. And then this is a wooden bicycle, still from Bunagana, when people were crossing. This picture, I took it in the campaigns during the presidential elections of 2016. Here we are in Mayuge, and after the new president had finished his rally, 2021, thank you. So the police and the army wanted to stop a procession or the people who were following him. So after firing tear gas and everything, now the army, of course, like you see, they took a knee. Those, of course, who have been war zones, those who have been, okay, let me say, those who have watched movies, you know what this means. Anytime, something can happen. But in the background, I had my colleague, John Cliff Wamala. Of course, he also took one, not to shoot. For him, he was shooting using his camera. I composed this because I felt that we are behind the lines, the drone lines, and as the press, at least this is where we are supposed to be. So this was during, after a downpour. You remember before they changed the clock tower, a person with a disability couldn't go through, and then she was helped. This is one of my most interesting pictures. You know, when they are arresting someone, and when the policeman got a chance of grabbing this man, he grabbed the boxer and then just pulled him. It's one of the most interesting pictures that I have here. They were the intern doctors. They were they wanted to be deployed, and then the police officer was running against them. When Bobby Wine was arrested and detained in Makinde barracks during the Arua fracas, I think we all remember that Arua fracas. So there was a demonstration in town when people started lighting up car tires and everything. This one is one of the new introduction in demonstrations. I think we all remember the ladies who were protesting against corruption in parliament. Some people asked me, but how do you look at those people when they are naked? Just like the doctors, we also do surgery. So I was doing surgery. Here, during Tojikwatako, the age limit bill, they had finished arresting the DP president, Norbert Mao. Of course, this is a new printing. You can't see, but he was seated right here. So there were also other members of DP who were behind. And when the policeman was driving into CPS, so the car tire, the car almost went off. So he just swerved in, and and of course it was a moment that you can only capture. We all remember this, the day council, who became now Honorable Council Elias Nalukola Luyimbazi, when he was having his campaign. You remember a policeman who lifted a man after he had broken his limb, and he tried to help him walk. This one is a portrait of an old man who we've met during the Great Trek. He said he last saw the president during the NRA war. So I took this portrait when they were seated waiting for him after some good years, if I can say. This was still in Bunagana. This photo links to the other photo where you see soldiers taking a knee. So after people were blocked from that side, they now decided to use the swamp that was around. We were in between a swamp. So people braved and they went through the swamp. So here people were swimming so that they can join the convoy and support their candidate. This is the new president during the campaigns. You remember when he was arrested in Luka, 19th November. We all remember what happened after he was arrested. So he was in that police arrest van and was being given to Nalufenya. You remember the notorious Nalufenya. So Radical Niba, this is your own Council Aaron Kiza, when he was brought at High Court at Trade Towers. We all know what happened. And then this was in 2016. This was an international journalist who had come from Kenya to cover the presidential elections. So after the elections, this gentleman, we all remember when Dr. Kiza Besje went to FDC head offices in Najanankumbi, and he wanted to show, of course they also had a terrorist center, according to what I remember. So the journalist wanted to enter the party headquarters, and he was being stopped by the police. This is another interesting picture. I think here the introduction of the men in the green uniform had started in town. This was during traders, Ifris. We all remember that Ifris time. So this man was being accused of lighting car tires in the middle of the road. So this is how he was helped to jump onto a police vehicle. Coronavirus ravaged this country and the entire world. So Dr. Stella Nyanzi was demonstrating against the distribution of food, the unfair distribution of food and essential needs that the government was distributing. So here she had been arrested by the police, and then she was actually lifted into CPS. So this image won me the Uganda Press Photo Awards. Was it Uganda Press Photo? No, the ACME Awards. The ACME Awards of that year. I think I can now cross over to this other side. There's a picture here that became viral on social media. We all remember last year's 3rd June in Namgongo. There was a gentleman who was singing during, who was a member of the Nebi choir, who was singing, and the way he was opening his mouth really caught attention. And of course, I saw him and I was like, there's an opportunity here. So I took this picture. The lady here, this is one of my favorite pictures here. Why? This picture tells a story of the hope of graduates in this country. I took it in Chambogo. I saw this lady before the graduation. She went and sat on this chair alone, facing nowhere. Meaning she had finished graduate. Okay, she was going to graduate, but what next? That's like the question of what next. So anyway, that's the image that I took. And then, yeah, this is, of course, journalists covering a function. We rarely get close to each other, but normally these functions bring us together. There's also another picture of the president during the Great Trek. When you look at this picture, you can clearly see the long queues that were following the president during the Great Trek. And I remember he said he was trying to connect the past and the present. So I managed to at least get an image there. The other interesting picture that I have here is of the NUP candidate when he was in Busia. I remember this day, we moved ahead of him, and when he was coming from Busia town to where he was supposed to have his rally, police started firing tear gas, as you can see in the background, and he was up in the roof of his car with Honorable Asmani Basalirwa, and then one of the contestants of Busia. So there were 3 people. When police started firing tear gas, they all dashed under at the same time, and then they all had to squeeze themselves. I think you can see how they are crowded, and a very happy police officer enjoying what was happening. You know, we all know this picture when Dr. Kizza Besigye was brought into court in Nakawa after everybody demanded that I think actually this was the first time he was on hunger strike. He couldn't walk and everything. When the Supreme Court ruled that civilians actually had abolished trial of Ugandans in the military court because they say it's a tribunal. So he was brought, he was wheeled into the courtroom. This was during the recent demonstration of PLU members over corruption in parliament, and they really want to fight corruption in parliament. These are self-explanatory. We all remember when the NUP candidate had a bullet vest on during the campaigns. We remember when Honorable Amama Mbabazi started his journey to become the president, and some of his supporters visited the American embassy without invitation, and police told them, "You guys, you shouldn't be crossing the line." President Museveni was awarding an elderly woman in Butalangu Town Council, Nakaseke, when Owino Market caught fire. So many things happened that day. And the person you see here is the person here. So when police ran out of water, they called the military. So when the military came, they were trying to put out the fire, and then some people, like, what happens on the streets. I was actually called around 5, and then I went, I woke up and went on the streets, and, so he was put under arrest, and he was taken. Some of these, these pictures problems, these ones here. So when President Museveni was driving out of this function, one of the people who attended this function, the Heroes Day actually, ran and stood in front of the president's convoy and then stopped it. So when she stopped it, the soldiers jumped onto her, threw her down, but then the president moved out of his car and met her. The problems I got that day, I was stopped from covering the president and State House for some time. Still, during Ifris, these men were seated outside their shops, and you can see the padlocks. And then now this picture, you see what we journalists go through. After this man was injured at UN human rights offices, he still had to file a story. And that really tells a lot what we go through. No matter what, if you have the story and you still have the energy, please file. And then, he had a plaster. It's called Mulungi. I'm told he left in New Vision, but that's where he used to work from. And then here we all remember Ahmed Senfuma, who was rearrested and taken back to Semwai. He was stripped naked. Remember the Kawes suspects. So he was among them. I'm trying to speed up because time is not our ally. Those who have been to Mukono, we have seen the soft ground wrestling. So that's why I managed to get this image. They dig up the soil and then start from there. Here I went to court. Now, the Radical Nuba, this is where we are with you. I think this one is one of the Radical members. Okay, one of your members. So this was during the Miss Katanga's case at High Court during a trial. We also remember the former principal accountant, Geoffrey Kazinda, who is battling with so many cases, file after file. So he was at Supreme Court. We all remember how big this man was in this country, and to see him holding his bag and everything. An activist is called Habib Buwembo. There is, I don't want to call it ignorance, but people don't know some of these things, that when you pay bail money and then you are acquitted or found with no case to answer, they are supposed to refund your money, but so many people leave it there. So Habib Buwembo had gone to ask for his bail money. So here, and after, I think it was after 3 days, his money was refunded. So that's what I managed to collect for you. Of course, it's just a drop in an ocean. I'll talk about everything when I get time. My time was just to introduce what we have here so that you can have an idea of what you're seeing. I would also want to welcome my fellow photographers. Please, all photographers in the building. Okay, photojournalists, eh? Isan and your group. Hajara, Badil, who else? Others are already working. Eh? Please stand up and wave. Francis Isano is here. Hajara Narwada, my brother from Beg TV. Badru Katumba, the street vendor of photos in this country. And one special person let me also introduce Stella Nantongo. She heads most of the things, the trainings of photojournalists and photographers in this country. She works with Uganda Press Photo Awards. Please, Stella, stand up for recognition. I don't want to say she gave me awards, but I worked for them. But she always made sure we submit. Abu, if you don't submit, you'll get problems with me, Stella. Sorry, these days I stopped because I want also the young people to be motivated. I thank you. When my time for speaking comes, I'll give an elaborated speech about my life and photography. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for ABUBAKER. We celebrate you today, sir, as we celebrate press freedom. We appreciate the efforts. And to all the photographers in the room, thank you very much for making the extra efforts that you take to take these pictures. I've seen photographers on their bellies, on their knees to get the most perfect shot. Sometimes they don't care. I don't know what comes to you guys when you're taking pictures. Find a guy is very, somehow he wants to get that perfect shot. I think I've seen Badru and Isano in awkward positions, but they want to get that shot and freeze the moment and just tell the story. But thank you very much. Today we honor you as we celebrate World Press Freedom Day. We'll have a couple of speeches here, and I would love to invite the president of the Parliamentary Press Association, who is also a colleague of ABUBAKER LUBOWA, His Excellency Sami Banda Mugabi. He's our president for us to cover Parliament. Mr. Mugabi, you're very welcome. Karibu sana. Come and give us your remarks.
Thank you, my brother Solomon, the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society, and your team, the one that you lead with this radical bar, all the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I've already been introduced. My name is Samuel Ibanda Mugabi. I work with NBS, but by the grace of the Lord, I'm the president of the Uganda Parliamentary Press Association. It's a bigger session, and I lead a very big team of over 270 journalists that report from Parliament. So we have those that report for the international media houses, those that report for the regional, and those that report for the local media houses, and the other majority. And my brother Abu LUBOWA is among the team that do a very good job in terms of covering Parliament, all the proceedings of Parliament. And I'm happy that he was able to capture some of the events that happened in Parliament. I saw some of the photos when it was, I think, covering the age limit. We were there. It was not easy for us as journalists. But first, I want to thank Abu for sacrificing. You know, journalism has become one of the dangerous professions in this country. And I want to inform you that as leaders, we have gotten a number of reports where some of us senior journalists have decided to quit the profession simply because of safety reasons. You are aware that we are heading to 2026, and I was having an interaction with some of my journalists at Parliament. Majority of them were scared and saying they are scared whether they will be, after 2026, they will be alive. And some of them were also saying we are likely to see only the NRM candidates get media coverage. The reason they were giving is because of the intimidation, because of the fear, and because of issues related to safety. So we are likely to see a number of opposition candidates more especially those that are going to vie for the presidential. If not, things have not been checked, we are likely to see majority of the opposition moving, having these political trails without the media, but we don't want to take that way. That step, we believe we can have an engagement with different stakeholders, security, government, electoral commission, and so on, to see that each and every candidate is given this media coverage. I also want to thank the Uganda Law Society for the commitment, because the commitment you have made here, it shows that journalists will do their work without fear and without intimidation, because we are there to defend them whenever any incidences, negative incidences happen. The photos we have just seen, my brother, he has been explaining and speaking to them, they speak volumes. And I urge you, some of our young journalists have just joined the profession, the photojournalists. It's high time to make sure that you can learn something from LUBOWA. LUBOWA has been in the trenches of journalism for some good years. And I want to thank you for being exemplary and being supportive. I've seen you supporting some of our colleagues. There is a picture, I don't know, one of the photographers took it, when Abu was holding one of the reporters that had been hit at Najanankombi, another that had been hit at Makerere. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you for your work. Thank you so much. I wish you the best, and I wish everyone the best. May the good Lord bless all of you. Thank you so much.
My president, Sami Vandamugabi, is the president of the Uganda Parliamentary Press Association. Thank you so much for your remarks, sir. I think the president was making reference to one of the reports that recently has just been released by the Human Rights Network for Journalists, titled "One Step Forward, One Step Backwards, a Slippery Journey of Uganda's Media Industry," that really highlights the key issues and challenges that the media in this country faces. We're privileged to be seated with Mr. Robert Sempala. Sir, please come and address us. You're welcome. Mr. Sempala is the Executive Director of the Human Rights Network for Journalists, a body that publishes the Press Freedom Index report every year that casts a spotlight into the media in this country. You're welcome, sir. Can we love on him?
Thank you very much, Solomon. I'll also drive on the protocol as established by my previous speakers. But I want to make a special recognition for a colleague, Isano. Kindly stand up for recognition in here. He's one of the journalists that were thoroughly beaten during the Kawempe North by-elections. If you saw one guy who wouldn't work, he was bedridden for so many weeks, and I'm very happy to see that you can get to your feet and be in our midst here. Thank you very much. The last time, Mr. Vice President, I came here was when we talked about issues to do with human rights, general across the board. And at the end of the day, we signed, is it a memorandum? As people that were opposed to electoral violence. So we formed an alliance, let me say, of the willing against electoral democracy in Uganda. And one of the key people that signed was the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Norbert Mao, together with the owners of media houses in this country under the umbrella, the National Association of Broadcasters. The editors signed under the umbrella, the Uganda Editors Guild, among other very prominent people like Dr. Sala Birete of the Center for Constitutional Governance. And from that day onwards, we are hoping to work vehemently hard to put an end to electoral violence in this country. And in this, the media plays a very pivotal role, and people like ABUBAKER LUBOWA are very central in this. When we had the 2021 elections, they are the ones that brought to the fore things that had characterized journalists in the field, which culminated into a documentary launched by AIIJ, headed by our moderator here, Solomon Serwanja, called The Targeted. It's a very important record for us to see how elections fare in this country. And the media in that bid play a very central role. So our presence here to share part of the works of LUBOWA gives us great honor as the people that are in media development and media defense. LUBOWA, thank you so much. We will associate with all the works that you do. And LUBOWA is not only a photographer, but a central voice in amplifying the plight of other journalists. He's not one journalist that would be arrested and the world never gets to know. So he would be in a very safe and comfortable zone. But he moves out of that comfort zone to advocate for the rights of many other journalists and generally Ugandans. It's no wonder that he's being recognized today when he's still living and alive. So we give him the flowers, LUBOWA. Thank you very much. The practice of journalism is a very, very delicate trade or profession in this country. And unlike other journalists, photojournalists have to go so close to the object or to the news source, and that puts them into harm's way every day. And for people to believe the risks and bring out what we are seeing today, for me, is a very huge and noble achievement that we must celebrate here and going forward. The Uganda Law Society that has hosted us has a very good, is it a motto? Is it a slogan? The radical new bar. People are so comfortable. They are so peaceful. People are so calm. We need to radicalize some of our actions. We need to speak out what other people fear to speak. And we need to speak truth to power. Like the radical new bar has done. Revitalize the importance and image of the Uganda Law Society. So thank you so much, guys. You're doing a tremendous job. And I was asking my Vice President about how far Honorable Mao has gone with reconciling our President, who is one of our lawyers, Isaac Semakadde, with his tormentors. I call them his tormentors because he don't commit a crime. And says the process is fairly slow, but I'm dreaming of a time when we are all here speaking and he's in our midst and is making those record statements that will stay in the books for ages. Because when he starts to speak, you certainly know that he will leave no stone unturned. So we miss his voice right here. And all of us should contribute to that effort that will see him come back and we all work together. There is enough space for all of us. Only that the leaders, the political leadership of this country has since closed out most of the spaces for peaceful coexistence. And one of the targeted species are the journalists. Serwanja here was moderating the release of our annual Press Freedom Index, the 16th of its kind, and the findings point to a very dark end for practitioners, for media practitioners, come 2026. Because it captures a lot of violence that is regularly meted out onto journalists that do their professional work. So I want to report to you, colleagues here at the Uganda Law Society, that your bid and your commitment to amplify the voices of the ears and eyes of the public is a noble commitment. And we'll stand with you all through because all is not well. And on this note, I want to commend the journalists in the room for hanging in there and doing the work, despite the challenges that characterize the work on a daily basis. So can I kindly, through my moderator, request the journalists to stand up for that applause. The journalists in the room, all the journalists, Derek Wandela, all the journalists. All the journalists, this is your moment to recognize your work. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Please, you can resume your seat, and thanks for paying kind attention to me. Thank you very much.
It's a nice feeling to get those flowers. We rarely get them. Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Robert Sempala. I would love now to invite James Onen, my dear friend. And James Onen is the CEO at RX Radio, to come and also speak to us on this day as we celebrate press freedom. You're welcome, sir.
Hello everyone, how are you doing? My name is James Onen. It's a great pleasure to be here. I do not normally attend events like this where I interact with my contemporaries in the media, people from the legal fraternity that are championing our rights, and news journalists in general. So to have all of us together in the same room to be able to exchange ideas and celebrate world press freedom, I think is a very honorable and wonderful thing. So I'd like to thank the Uganda Law Society for convening this. I'd like to say kudos to my fellow panelists and to everyone in the room. So as we celebrate World Press Freedom, as a person that's in the media, but just tangentially connected to the press per se, I thought I'd share with you my own perspective about where I see things going, how we are going to be championing for the rights of individuals, for the rights of everybody, and for the rights of the press to be able to carry out their duties without fear. The first thing I'd like to say is that the industry is changing. We're talking about the radical new bar, but we also have to talk about the radical new media environment. The advent of smartphone technology and social media has broadened the scope of the media to where now everyone with a smartphone is a journalist unto themselves, and anyone with a social media platform is a media entity unto themselves. A person with a social media following is now essentially a media outlet, although not governed by and constrained by the same rules as, say, the establishment media like us, in news organizations, in media organizations, where we have to seek licensing, we are vetted, and we are held accountable by media entities. Now with social media and smartphones, anyone can go to the field, to a hotspot, crime scene, or even war zone and capture what's happening, post it on social media. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but increasingly we in traditional media are now sort of playing second fiddle to normal civilian news reporting. If you turn on the news today, you will see in the news bulletin, they're airing a clip that someone posted on social media. So today at this area, there was this accident. Yes, they will send journalists there, but a lot of times the news would have been broken by people that were on the ground before the news journalists got there. It is after you see it trending that you send your reporter to go and cover the story. And as someone who's in the realm of radio, what you now realize is anytime you listen to a radio show, before it used to be that we used to set the agenda. You'd go to the, I like to say, the office water cooler where people gather to just chat about normal things. And people will be discussing, oh, did you hear what this DJ said? Did you hear what was on Kaliso Liso today? Did you hear what Alex Ndala said? Did you hear what Tolania said? Did you hear what Fatboy said? Those would sort of inform the conversations people were having in the public sphere. Except now it's flipped to where now when you tune into a radio show, the DJs are discussing what people are posting on social media, right? Oh, did you see what so-and-so posted? Did you see what this person said? Did you see what the general tweeted? So whereas before we would have had to go and seek interviews with prominent politicians and individuals, now these individuals and politicians have their own platforms from which they can express their ideas, and in essence, in a way, are rendering news reporting kind of redundant, because we come in afterwards to offer commentary on conversations that are already taking place. So we're no longer sort of leading the conversations, we're kind of following it. This obviously also has ramifications from a business standpoint. As a business owner myself, I can tell you, newsrooms are shrinking. Our industry is actually constricting. I'm not even going to lie about it. Just ask your friends. We have members of the media here. You know, how many of their friends have been let go in their news organizations? Or if they work in radio stations, how many of their fellow presenters now no longer have jobs, right? There have been stories of some stations closing down, TV stations closing down. Business is tight because a lot of the attention that we used to leverage for business opportunities is now being shifted to social media, where individuals are creating and curating conversations for themselves. So an advertiser says, well, you know, everyone's on social media. If I want to get my message out, rather than invested advertising on news media, on a media platform, why not just put it on digital? So digital budgets are increasing, and this isn't because they're pulling new money. This is money that would have otherwise gone to TV stations, newspapers, is now being pumped into digital, is now being pumped into influencers. And this also has ramifications for the quality of reporting that is taking place, with it now skewing more towards sensationalism. And you know, when I sort of just look at the kinds of conversations taking place, I see that there's a lot of sensationalism where everyone wants clicks or they want views. And many of my friends in the media have fallen prey to that temptation to just sort of be a bit more spicy and juicy, right? So we are at that point where we even have to be more diligent in trying to ascertain what news we can consider to be factual. You know, fact-checking is now a thing. There's entire industries devoted to now fact-checking. A lot of resources are going into that. And ultimately, fact-checking is a responsibility that lies with us, the individuals. So if you see a story that's a bit wild and sensational, maybe you want to relax a little bit. Don't be too quick to get outraged, because there's a lot of that on social media, outrage farming. And then when you include the advent of AI, which is kind of connected to the conversation we're having today, the rise of AI, I think that media is going to be impacted even further, because you know, whereas previously a news editor might have needed a team of people to write a story, increasingly now newsrooms are using AI to to generate some of these stories. I don't know to what extent that happens here, but I know that in many major international publications, I might have seen a story about, there's a famous news website where it was found that actually about 30% of their articles are AI generated. That means fewer and fewer jobs for actual journalists, right? And actual reporters. And I think that's a scary thing. And as the public also continues to rely on AI, you know, today you will typically see below a news article, someone will say, hey, Grok, is this true? Like if you use X, you'll see that a lot. And then the Grok AI will present an assessment of the story, right? And try to offer some clarity to the person inquiring. And then someone will say, oh, but AI, do you see what AI is saying? AI has said this, therefore that. I just want to remind and to caution everyone that AI isn't, for those who are religious, AI isn't God, right? AI isn't just this magical entity that just knows all the facts. AI is a tool. All the information that is presented to you by any of the AI systems you're using is information that it is collecting, gathering, and curating and repackaging, but this is information that it would have obtained from other sources. These days, they will even go as far as disclose to you where they're obtaining these sources from. And what are these sources? These are news sites, websites, articles written by human beings. So just because AI gives you an answer, it doesn't mean it is computer generated, therefore 1000% accurate. It just means that it has scoured the internet, looked for information relevant to the question you're asking, and is presenting it to you in a way that might make sense to you, might be helpful to you. So I just thought I'd put that out there to just, for those who wish to treat AI as the new gospel, AI isn't always perfect, and there are times where it will even give you wrong answers. So in this era of fake news, be sure to double check, cross check, look at several sources before you decide that what AI has presented to you is gospel. So just one more thing. Even in terms of how AI can be used to generate images, I see that that might also affect how news is presented. I feel like it's going to limit opportunities for photographers who previously would have been sort of taking pictures on the scene to depict what a story is trying to tell. Now someone can just enter those prompts into an AI and the image can be generated and boom. So of what use will photographers be in the future, right? And video editors. I just thought that might be something that we in the media fraternity might want to worry about. So on one hand, as we celebrate World Press Freedom and celebrate the contributions journalists and press people are making, at the same time, we also have to keep in mind the economic realities that are changing the shape of journalism as we understand it. Thank you so much.
I think that's one of the 4 Ds of the radical Nuba. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very, very much for that. And that's digitalization, right? It's one of those. Our time is fast spent. I would love now to invite Dr. Innocent Nahabwe did not make it, but he sent a representative from the National Association of Broadcasters. Is there someone from NAB? We were earlier on informed that he was supposed to be here. All right, we'll quickly hear from Mr. Isaac Ogwal, who is a programs manager at the African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Tortured Victims. Mr. Ogwang, you're very welcome. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Solomon. All protocols observed. Thank you very much, my panelists, and also the journalists who are present here. We appreciate the work you're doing. My name is Isaac Ogwal. I am the program manager of the African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Torture Victims. That is actually our mandate, treatment and rehabilitation. Most times when people hear about us, because we are abbreviated ACTV, they think we are a media center. Sometimes people confuse us with the African Center for Media Excellence of Solomon Serraj, but we are a treatment and rehabilitation center. Now, coming to this topic, I would like to appreciate the work done by LUBOWA, the photojournalist. And at ACTV, we say, sometimes we are in a world where people look at a camera, people look at a microphone and equate it to a weapon. And sometimes they are going to treat you that way. Because behind a microphone and a camera, there are really powerful things that can come out of it. And sometimes if people mistake that, then it is a problem. I just want us to look at this situation and take this scenario. Being a journalist, a photojournalist, you have a camera on one side, but you also have courage on one side. And these photojournalists or journalists, what they are doing is telling the truth. But we are also in a world where sometimes honesty is really punished, because most people are not interested in listening to the truth. But we see journalists exposing corruption. We see them exposing what happens in protests, what happens in land wrangles. We have seen this in most countries. In Myanmar, we have seen this in Palestine, and also here in Uganda. But when you look at what a journalist does, when you look at these beautiful pictures, behind these pictures, there is something people forget, that a journalist has put something on the line. And sometimes it is their life they have put on the line. And these invisible things that people don't talk about is what journalists sometimes face. Sometimes they face trauma. For example, that after listening to a story, because a journalist is the first line witness to something, and they're also telling stories. But when you tell a story, who is there to tell your story as a journalist? And when a journalist goes through some of those things, we look at their families. We also look at their relatives. Sometimes a journalist is prepared because they know they're a foot soldier, and certain things that happen to them, some of them anticipate, and somehow they are prepared psychologically. How about the family member who is back home there, who is seeing this for the first time, and what is happening to this journalist? So it torments them. Psychologically, they are affected. And at ACTV, that is what we do. We do treatment and rehabilitation of victims of torture. We have a special program at ACTV, particularly for journalists and human rights defenders. And in this, we provide treatment and rehabilitation. If you can remember what happened during the Kawempe by-election, at the last day of the campaign, the violence just happened next to our office. Our office is located in Kanyanya, and most of them found themselves in our premise. Some of them didn't know that was our office. They just went there to take refuge. But then people were treated and services were extended to them. So that is one of the services we provide as ACTV, treatment and rehabilitation. Of recent, we have also realized that this work as a journalist really takes a great toll on you, and you are affected, both physically and psychologically. And we have devised strategies where we conduct stress management for journalists. If there is a journalist who is stressed because of the nature of their work, but also we have done capacity building on digital safety and physical security itself for journalists. So there is a lot of work we are doing at ACTV for journalists. And over the last 2 years, I would say about 60 journalists and human rights defenders have benefited from some of those services we provide at ACTV. So this is just a call upon you that knock the door of ACTV. We are actually available and to provide that services. Now, linking this to AI, people have said that AI has come, but then it is anticipated that AI will directly create about 150 million jobs. But also there are jobs that will be lost. About 90 million jobs will be lost as a result of AI. And also as journalists, we are affected because of AI. One threat to AI that journalists are going to face is a threat to independent free media. It is a threat to the truth, because we have certain tools in AI that will determine what you do, what you say, what you publish as a journalist. But also we have seen certain tools being used to gather information about you, and then sometimes there is censorship. One thing I've realized is about what you call internet doxing. Here, information is published about you, and this is personal information. And sometimes it is done with the malice to injure your personality. And when such things happen, they affect you psychologically. And as ACTV, we are there for journalists who seek our services. Yeah, briefly, that is what I wanted to talk about ACTV and the work we do. I'm really happy for this invitation. Uganda Law Society is actually one of the members in a coalition we lead as ACTV. Is called the Coalition Against Torture in Uganda. It comprises about 30 civil society organizations and human rights organizations. And that is why we were invited here by the Uganda Law Society to share our experience and the work we have been doing together with journalists, but also human rights defenders. Yeah, briefly, that is what I wanted to share, and thank you very much for giving me audience.
Thank you all. I'm almost going to open up a short panel discussion with your input, but allow us hear from Mr. Robert Chirenga from the Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda. You're very welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Solomon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to also add my voice to all those who are here and appreciate the protocol. I thank the Uganda Law Society, the Radical Bar for organizing this event. I also want to congratulate Mr. LUBOWA, a brave photojournalist who has brought us here. It's good to recognize people when they're still alive. Mr. LUBOWA could have been a victim, could have been history during the Kawempe by-elections, and then would now be talking at his graveyard, thanking him for the work he's done. I want to briefly talk about the issue related to safety and security of journalists, because as a National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders, our work is really to provide support to human rights defenders such as photojournalists. Personal safety requires you to do what we call planning, security planning. That I'm going to cover a story, I'm going to the field, but what are the likely risks that I'm likely to meet while covering this event? Because you can never avoid risks, but you can mitigate risks. How do I ensure that I meet my mission objective, that is covering a story, without compromising my personal safety and security? We all know what happened in Kawempe by-elections. While I was watching the incident on TV, I remember seeing some journalists following the leader of opposition into a residence. That residence was referred to the Namere, somewhere at Namere. And then I saw journalists follow the leader of opposition, eagerly running inside a gate. And I said, so where is their exit when they enter this gate? What if the person just lets them go in and then afterwards closes the gate? How do you come out? So it's important really to mind about your personal safety and security, including the tools that you use. I think it's a pity we don't have the representative of the National Association of Media Owners, but it's important that you look at the gadgets that you use. Must you carry these heavy gadgets when you are going to cover a story? Are there any other digital tools that you can use, and even the people whom you're covering cannot recognize that you actually have a tool that you're using? So I think personal safety is something that you should look into this, as you also continue to expose those who violate the rights of citizens and also seek for accountability and access to justice by the victims for their acts. As a National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders, we are committing to protecting journalists as human rights defenders by ensuring that we provide emergency protection, medical and legal support, including psychosocial support, and relocation to journalists who have been under threat or attack. I wish to conclude my remarks by once again thanking the Law Society and congratulating Mr. LUBOWA upon this photo exhibition. Thank you very much for your attention.
One of the things of practicing journalism in this country is you must have a backup, or people like Robert here, who you know will come through. Maybe if ABUBAKER LUBOWA is arrested in this country, everyone will bang tables, including the radical Nuba. But a little known journalist in Kitgum, Mighty Fire FM, or in Gulu, or down in Kisoro, what will happen in case anything happens to you? And this is why we need organizations that support journalism in this country. Our time is fast, so you'll allow me to keep you here for the next about 30 minutes, and then I promise you that we'll be out. Alan Chekwech is from the Nation Media Group that employs my brother here. You have seen on the front pages of the different newspapers, the Daily Monitor, the bare name ABUBAKER LUBOWA with this picture. So, Alan, please come and celebrate this man called ABUBAKER LUBOWA and give him his flowers, but as well speak broadly about press freedom in this country. You're welcome, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's unenviable to speak when people are supposed to be eating. I hope you listen to us. Abu told me this morning that when I come here, I do as he does. That what he says, I say. So I stand on the existing protocol, as he did. Allow me first introduce my colleagues. To begin with, Ida Nalubega, who is she is our editorial administrator and also very close to Abu. Next is the company secretary for Nation Media Group, Timothy Ntale. Abu, allow me convey apologies from our managing director, Susan Tsibirwa, who is away in Nairobi, but she should have been here. So we wanted to come with the whole newsroom, but he said who'll do the other work because there should be other Abus out there as well. But we've come with a considerable number of people. Derek Wandera, to begin with you. We have Busain Samilu, our reporter there. There is Karim Muyobo, and Geoffrey Mutumba. So we had wanted to carry the whole newsroom, like I said, but we've come with those. My name is Alan Chekwech. I'm the managing editor for the Nation Media Group. Abu and I joined the NMG at the same time, 12 years ago. He's been my very close friend. In fact, he addresses me as the fool. So we are very cordial. And allow me just share something about Abu before we go into the things that Solomon has conscripted me into. Abu is one of the first people in office. Every time I come to office, I find him on his desk. And I don't know how he does that, but also he is one of those that lives almost as late as myself. He leaves the office every time, every day at about 8 p.m. Okay? So that dedication, when I first met him 12 years ago, he was a humorous fellow. He likes cracking jokes. He still does. But behind that humor is a man very dedicated to his job. I think he takes very serious care of his work. Many times, he calls me when he's in the field and says, ABCD is happening, prepare ABCD. So he is that dedicated. And I'm not saying it to please him. Anyone else knows that. In terms of even teamwork, Abu will go wherever you assign him. Okay? Even when he has another assignment, he will go. But he'll also step out of his own way to organize his own team members and say, can we have someone go and cover here and there and there? That is why we even picked him as our Chimeza chairman. He's our boss in that in that respect. And in terms of in the digital age, Onen is no longer fat boy. He spoke about AI and technology. Sometime last year, I said Abu is a very hardworking fellow. He has done everything he's done, but he needs also international training. So I took him to China. Went to Shanghai, we went to Huangzhou, went to all those other cities, trying to learn the new digital formats. So he is just not the journalist that you see there taking those pictures. He has other immense talents that he has learned over time. But impressively, he pays a lot of attention to detail. He is that one person you're sitting together, then he'll tell you, oh, have you seen what's happening there? Have you seen what's happening there? He has a very good eye for detail. At the Nation Media Group, ladies and gentlemen, we stand for the truth, we stand with the audiences, and we work for the people. Many times, I prefer to sit behind the computer, but they keep pushing me to come here and to these things that I even don't understand. But we want to practice the best journalism in this town. And ABUBAKER is one of those that is doing that. And we're very proud of his work. And when he told me about this, I didn't even think twice about it. Neither did my boss, Daniel Kalinaki, nor Susan, the MD. We gave it the express orders. Let it go ahead. Because we know it's for the well-meaning of the photojournalist and also for the organization and for the ULS. Or is it Radical Nuba or so? And we are interested, we want to tell the young people out there that there are people that you need to look up to. Abu is one of those, and have marked over time, who is very receptive to the new people who join the company. Another person like that is called Tabu Butajira. He's not here with us. Very receptive people to new people. I have not seen anyone who has joined the photo desk or anywhere who has claimed or who even thinks Abu is not going to teach them or to nurture them or to just help them with the ropes, because the field is a very rough place, but he's been there. I think there are many people whose hand he has held until they're able to walk on their own. So many, both at the NMG and outside the Nation Media Group. And we just ask you, okay, that the Nation Media Group is going to do the best journalism. We shall not disappoint you. We shall not disappoint Abu. Abu will continue doing that work. Even when he was beaten, we will support him. And we ask the family, please continue releasing him to us every morning. We shall take care of him. And we do the best that we can do. Solomon asked me to talk about press freedom. I am not prepared to talk about it. It conscripted me to it. But the space in which we operate continues to shrink every single day, because every day we send people's children, people's husbands, people's brothers and sisters to the field. You don't guarantee that they'll come back. You send them to a place that you think is safe, but it turns out to be a war front. Kawempe by-election was one such an example. But we do not even tell the families that we've sent your people to such and such places. I am sure that the most worried people that day, apart from the editor, was the family. Okay? So we thank you, Abu, for your work. We thank you, the family, for releasing him to us, and also for allowing us to work with him that late and that early. In terms of press freedom, the NMG stands for the truth every day. I must reiterate. We are going to do the independent and bold journalism. We will write the headlines that we will do. Our TVs will do the work that they do. And we hope that one day we will have to reclaim that space that has been shrinking and will be enlarged. Thank you so much. I don't want to take much of your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alan Chekwech, one of the top editors at the Nation Media Group. Can we love on him once again? Truth every day. Thank you for speaking truth to power. The Nation Media Group, we really appreciate the boldness that the editors have. I mean, there are headlines sometimes that get on the front page and you're thinking, will these guys be open tomorrow? I think one of it that I thought the editors thought twice about publishing was on the State of the Nation address. We all remember what the headline was. If you forget, let me remind you, it was State of the Nation address and an empty page. And I'm thinking, you guys are kidding me, you're going to be closed. But yeah, thank you very much for the work that you do. We really appreciate you all. Listen, I will give an opportunity to about 3-4 people. What can we do to improve press freedom in this country? Do you even think that press freedom exists in this country? What can we do? And yeah, as a whole, so I would love to hear from the reporters in the room, from the people in the room. I would love to give you an opportunity. Councilman Mabilis, you want to go first? Can we give him a microphone? Let me hear your thoughts on what can we do to improve press freedom in this country, please. Can someone help me? Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. This brand, you say we fought for Radical Nyoba. So it has to be captured. This is a new government. And I've been in court of appeal telling them, you see, Mr. Sempala, we're talking about reconciliation. Why reconcile? We are in government. They must comply with the principles we follow. Our principles are the Constitution and the laws of Uganda. So you want us to negotiate the laws of Uganda? I don't think. And this goes to what Solomon is telling me to talk about. What should we do to improve media freedom? Journalists, media freedom will not be given to you. You must fight for it and get it. Don't think, when you read history, no monarch, no emperor has ever wanted the media. No. Because monarchism and despotism survive in darkness. How do you call a wild cat? Omuyayu. Is it a wild cat? Omuyayu survives in darkness. Every time you bring light, it disappears. So if Omuyayu has a chance to take away darkness, it will take it away. So the journalists, this freedom is guaranteed by the Constitution. These freedoms came from revolutions. The French Revolution and whatever. They said, no, let us guarantee press freedom. Someone was saying that a camera, they look at it as a weapon. This was a program manager. Yes, a camera is a weapon. Stronger than even a gun. Because the moment you expose the brutality, the moment you expose why was Lowa being beaten, because there was suspicion that it was going to expose rigging. So if you expose it, that is better than, actually, that is worse than even a bullet. So my point is so simple that please, journalists, fight for your space. We're not going to keep praying to operators to give you your space. The technology we are Onen is talking about should be used to widen your space. This is what Mr. Chilenga was talking about. If you think that, if you suspect that the space is not so clear, why do you go with the camera? You get the point. What I don't agree with Mr. Chilenga is that you are too theoretical on journalist safety. Practically, they call you for a story, you must go. And when you start asking her, is it from here? Then you will not get the story. Because have these places been constructed with exits? Elsewhere, I was a money lender. Let me tell you, in money lending, we take risks, and open risks actually. They tell us when someone brings a phone or a laptop, they whether he owns it. When you start asking a receipt, the guy goes. You are not lending money. So from there, we just say, what are we not receipt later? But you can lend about 10 people, no issue. On the 11th, when police comes, they arrest everybody, so any property. What? But you remember that you have at least achieved on the 10 transactions. So journalists must remain brave. Of course, some issues may come. Yes, LUBOWA was done 12 years? Yes. How many issues have come up? A few. You have told us when they stopped you from covering Museveni, when they beat you up, but you keep moving. You keep moving. So don't scare them. The untouchable people, etc. I have an issue with you. You issue reports of torture. But when things come to court, you shy away. You issued a report to Kawe's victims, Kawe's murder, and also Magara. But the judge said, we want certified copies. These guys shunned away. They were threatened, and the judge is saying there's no evidence that tortured, yet the guys have the evidence. So I think you should just handle that. Since it's not my day, I will congratulate LUBOWA for your efforts. I thank you for the resilience. Yes, we are beaten, but that's not the worst. Would you compare being beaten with being imprisoned for 18 months, like I served? So you would say, the other beat me and I can go home and... But we are paying a high price, and we must be, you must be firm. And the young lawyers and the young human rights activists, the young journalists must know that there is a price to pay. You must pay that price. Why we're celebrating LUBOWA, why Isaac Semakade insists that we had to celebrate LUBOWA, it's not because that his work is so simple, but because that amidst all this, here. Why Nation Media is celebrating, you know that had you been a desk guy who is a normal reporter to a press conference, then you take a picture when they are seated, Mao addressing journalists, then it wouldn't be different. So the difference comes with perseverance, and that's what every person should know. The difference comes with perseverance, and we must brave that perseverance no matter. There's a human rights, before I leave, human rights, Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mchala Mutumba. Recently, she wrote to me a letter telling me that she has no able. There's a way she wrote, I have a complaint against Namboze. I was beaten at court. She tells me that she could not get my witnesses, so the file was closed. That she closed the file because I did not identify my beaters. People who beat me under command of Namboze were not identified. So Human Rights Commission stopped the technicalities. The purpose why you were set up was to beat the court technicalities. The framers of the Constitution knew that the courts were so technical that a common Ugandan would not manage the court to go and hire a SIM as his advocate, draw a plaint, what and what. They said, let there be a commission to receive a journalist or any other person's complaint and hold it in its rogo way. Then you record it. The Human Rights Enforcement Act, I think, is trying to do that. It says you can go to a court and tell the magistrate that I was beaten. My problem with Human Rights Commission is you are becoming so technical. Yet you are supposed to be not technical. But now it's like you have a prosecution department there. They sanction files. So Mchala Mutumba, whom you called, who representing Ms. Wangadia, is like she's the DPP in there. You are the DPP of Human Rights Commission. She says this one should go, this one should not go. That's the problem I'm having with you. Although you commend you at last to have issued, exercised your powers to issue a release order. These are things we have been telling you, that you have the power. If Solomon says, I was tortured, why don't you issue an order? So at least we commend you, but stop the technicalities. I thank you so much, Mr. Solomon, and I thank LUBOWA, I thank Semakade.
It's your time to talk back. It's your time to have your views, your thoughts. I'll give 3 more people the microphone. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Alan Shakonye. I'm a visual artist. This is a very important opportunity for artists now. First of all, to go on and add on someone's view. The gentleman on the left there, he asked the question, who covers the press? I mean, who really covers the press? Without the press, then who is going to do the work for the press? There was another gentleman who was seated there. I think he has gone away. He's called Chris Ogon. He's a cartoonist. The artworks on the wall could be covered with the camera. But then if the gentleman there doesn't want something to be published using what he has taken, who is Chris then? So there is a collaboration that can always happen because we're finding a solution to what can happen with the press. It's so bad Chris has gone, and I'm here talking for him or other people around here. So I think you're having an answer now, one answer. The second answer could be mine. Where could be the answers for the press if nothing could be covered by the press?
Okay. I think you'll answer to it. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Where are the ladies? Okay. You're welcome.
Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I need no introduction. I think everyone in this room knows who I am. For those of you who don't know who I am, I mean, Human Rights Commission, you're dead on arrival, but you should know who I am. I have enough petitions before you, but anyway, you're an institution which is dead on arrival. As for journalists, the solution is one, as we are called the radical Nyuba, so you know what to do, be radical. There's something called minimum broadcasting standards. That's the first thing you people should have thrown out the window. Minimum broadcasting standards. Minimum to who exactly? Who comes up with these so-called minimum broadcasting standards? Oh, Solomon, you're supposed to say this on TV. Blasio, Zambale, please don't say this. So what is this minimum broadcasting standard? And who designs that media? You are supposed to be a self-regulating entity, whereby if New Vision says something, Daily Monitor should call out New Vision and say, no, what you're doing is wrong. But now if you have some guy in Bugolobi there telling you what your minimum is, for him, his minimum today might not be the minimum tomorrow. So please get rid of that. I mean, you all know the case of Gregory Lee Johnson, Texas versus Johnson. A guy woke up one day, burnt an American flag, and a brave journalist, has any of you bothered to follow that story, took a video of an American flag burning, and it went to the US Supreme Court. And what did they say? That is part of his freedom of speech. The journalist was later arrested by the state of Texas, and they said, no, he's protected. As Council Mabilis has said, no one is going to fight for you. You have to fight for yourself. So, down with minimum broadcasting standards, down with UCC. Why is that chairperson, ED of UCC, not a journalist? What is his name right now? Nyombi? Tembo. You people, you're being, Uganda Law Society, at least we are being led by lawyers. ICPA for accountants. The president is an accountant. Uganda Medical, Dental Practitioners, whatever they're called, the council, they are being led by a doctor. Now, Nyombi Temba has never even stepped in a first-year law school of journalism. But here he is giving you minimum broadcasting standards. Then you, the journalists, you say, oh, let us listen to minimum broadcasting standards by a guy who doesn't even know what journalism is. You guys are jokers. So please, pull up your socks. Yes. Pull up your socks. You are journalists. I expect to have, is it Flavia Kabura? That's why I think she was hired by one of you people. She is a journalist. One of these media company which has hired her to be the head of something. She's a journalist. But now you people, a guy wakes up to die. I don't know, he studied maybe IT. The journalism he did is on his WhatsApp or Twitter page. And now he comes with minimum broadcasting standards. Solomon, you follow Human Rights Commission, you go ahead, Uganda Law Society, yeah, we are following minimum broadcasting standards of a guy who did not even know what journalist is. So please, journalists, look into that, and I believe you will be fine. Human Rights Commission, you just need to be disbanded. We shall create something new, and you guys will have employment, because not even a refined one, like Human Rights Commission. Don't waste our time. Actually, stop even receiving our petitions. When we come to you with a petition, please tell us, no, we shall not, you will not get justice from here. Please go away. There's no difference between you and the rubbish that is in the judiciary right now, honestly speaking. If I can he spent 11 years, I know Solomon the time, 11 years before he got a dismissal letter. So what's the difference between going to the Uganda Human Rights Commission and wasting time with a magistrate? Anyway, that is my opinion. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think we have the final question, then I can come back. We are in the premises of the Uganda Law Society, the Radical New Bar. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. My name is Ruweza Ibrahim. I write for the New Vision. I just wanted to advise him small, just that we take our time. As journalists, it's not about doing what people think, but we do to make sure we balance what the perception of people are. Then making sure that we have the freedom. I think we are not wrong as journalists, but you realize that a biggest number of media houses are owned privately. So sometimes we face a lot of pressure to deliver what your boss wants. So I think the owners should think like that, should think the other way to give us our freedom. Then lastly, the public need to be sensitized by our bosses. Because do you realize that the public doesn't understand how our work should be done? Because whereas I am questioning what is going wrong, this person believes me to write a PR story on him, which is not what I think should be done. So the more we think like that, we shall have our freedom as journalists. Otherwise, Abub, thanks so much. You really inspire me. And to you, Solomon, it's high time I keep learning more from you to keep myself broad and bold. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
One more question.
One more question. I'll give you a minute, please, and then we can come back.
Good afternoon and good evening, morning to time zones. I'm by name of Dr. Migade Ronald. Mr. Abu talked about this. I'm a specialist, security specialist from Iraq, stock of a gun. I've been to war zones. This is called aiming. This guy here you see here is risking, pure risking. He has no safe gadgets. Upon the network there, I'm talking about this network, you never know what is here. Anyone can rebound back onto these guys, and this guy is not protected. He has only a camera. Even the vest jacket may not that be what? May not that be protective onto him, because you never know the bullet which may come from here. It is a 50 caliber. It can shoot this guy down. What am I trying to bring up? These guys are trying their level best to show us what is within the corners where we cannot see. And these guys are really doing some job. I'm talking about a tribute. Once we pay tribute onto these guys, it is a morale onto them to fight more for us. They're not fighting for them. These are humanitarians. They're fighting for our lives. You get rid. These are people who are fighting for our rights. Let's pay tribute to us, to these people. Happens so. This man who is standing here, if we don't pay tribute onto his input, what is next? onto the next generation. Also, I was the AI, which I have heard you were talking about. With the AI for the upcoming journalists, they are not going to keep up with it because we tend, this is aiming. The formation is aiming. It's called aiming, and the bullets are already. That is called a red what? A red zone. The red zone, which is there within that what? Within that period, they are going to aim shooting the what? The drones, which are going to put up. Unless it's a what? It's a robot. Okay. That is only what can surface or can manifest that condition. But without a robot, there is nothing as a drone, because it is only one bullet. It is already down, and it's kind of expensive. So I would request for us, the ones who are being fought for, to put in what we call attribute onto these people so that they can do more the fighting in order for us to access humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So just to be clear, that the other people on the other side, I think they were the rioters or something. I don't think they were soldiers the other side. Usually when we're doing security training and we're covering the front line, we are usually advised to be on the side of the security forces, because then the risk is a little bit lower, at least for the different security trainings I've had. That's why journalists are always encouraged to be this side rather than the other side. But maybe as a security expert, you can tell us more. But the other ones are, even others can. The other side. Okay. The arms are a preserve of the national force. But thanks, everyone, guys. Thank you very much for your comments, your thoughts, your views. I will buy a few more minutes from you and invite the vice president to invite the president. So I'd love to invite Mr. Anthony Asimwe, who is the vice president of the Uganda Law Society, to invite the speech from the president of the Uganda Law Society, after which we'll invite our guest of honor. You're very welcome, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Solomon. I'll try to rush through this. The president of the Radical New Bar, our president, Isaac Mazesemaket, is with us online. For reasons you know best, and some other work he's doing, he's not here with us physically. But in solidarity with the journalists, his speech will be delivered by a journalist with Daily Monitor, and that is Mr. Derek Wandera. Derek Wandera, please, you're welcome to deliver the president's speech for this day.
Good afternoon, everyone. I stand on the protocol. My name is Derek Wandera. I am a journalist with a Daily Monitor. And I feel one of the most radical people right now in this room. Without much ado, I will just read the speech of the president as he requested me. It's a very humongous opportunity, but yet a very delicate responsibility for me to do this. One wonders how he selected among the many heads, but he has his own. Someone is saying, I am also radical. I am a radical journalist. So this is a statement by the Radical New Bar, president of the Uganda Law Society, delivered at the opening of the Through the Lens of Truth, 12 years on the front line of power and protest in the age of AI, photographs by Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and distinguished guests, it is with immense pride and heavy heart that I address you today. I deeply regret that I cannot stand among you in person to deliver this tribute, as I am prevented by vagaries of occupational persecution. Yet my commitment to this moment, to the extraordinary work of Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA, our exhibitor in residence for the next 3 weeks, remains unshaken. My spirit is with you as we unveil through the lens of truth an exhibition that is both a personal milestone and a powerful statement and a powerful testament to our shared mission. For over a decade, Daily Monitor's ABUBAKER LUBOWA has been a cornerstone in my life, not only as a renowned photojournalist whose work I admire, but as a trusted source of client referrals, a subject of my legal advocacy, and a cherished collaborator on numerous projects. Our connection began when I first encountered his fearless photography, his images of courtroom confrontation, and the quiet resilience of ordinary Ugandans mirrored the very struggles I was championing as a public interest lawyer. Over time, our paths intertwined repeatedly in the chaos of the demonstrations, in the tension of legal battles, and in the reflective moments that followed. Through these experiences, we built a profound bond rooted in mutual respect and a shared commitment to justice. 5 years ago, this exhibition took root in our conversation during one of our many discussions about the erosion of press freedom and the challenges journalists face in Uganda. We envisioned a project that would elevate ABUBAKER's photographs beyond mere documentation. We dreamed of a radical space where his work could stand as both art and advocacy, a platform to amplify silenced voices and illuminate hidden injustices. That vision today come to life through the lens of truth. This exhibition is not just a celebration of ABUBAKER's talent. It is the culmination of partnership and a clarion call to defend principles we hold so dear. I must extend my deepest gratitude to Miss Dorothy Nabunjo and a team from the Zinsun Art Space, whose impeccable curatorial performance has brought this full record forged at the intersection of power and protest. In this age of AI-driven image manipulation, ABUBAKER's work reaffirms the unmatched authenticity of human vision, the irreplicability of the human experience. His lens captures the unvarnished truth of Uganda's story, reminding us that truth requires integrity, not fabrication. This year's World Press Freedom Day theme challenges us to navigate the promise and the peril of AI in journalism. While AI can amplify stories and provoke insights, it also risks eroding trust through manipulation. ABUBAKER's photos stand as a defiant counterpoint, a powerful rebuke to the AI limitations. Their raw honesty a reminder that truth is not a construct or product to be engineered by reality, but jealously pursued and defended. As the Uganda Law Society, we are honored to co-curate this exhibition, which reflects our mission to uphold the rule of law and safeguard freedoms of expression and the press. Though I cannot be there physically, my resolve to support this cause and Abu's fearless legacy stands firm. The obstacles we face, from state repression to occupational persecution, are daunting, but they will not deter us. Together, we must strive for a better Uganda where journalists can work without fear and where every story finds its voice. In closing, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Comrade ABUBAKER LUBOWA for his remarkable artistry, unwavering bravery, and unrelenting pursuit of truth. I also commend his long-term employer, Nation Media Group, for valuing human storytelling and supporting photojournalists like ABUBAKER despite the allure of cost-saving technologies. May this exhibition inspire us all to see more clearly, act more justly, and strive for a future where truth prevails. I thank you. Isaac K. Semakadde, President, Uganda Law Society.
I was waiting for you to add your words on the president's statements. The president of the Uganda Law Society, Council Isaac Semakadde, thank you for your speech. We appreciate you from wherever you are, and we wish that you'll come back home and continue running the bar, the Uganda Law Society. Would love to recognize the presence of Diana Rutabingwa, head of the component of human rights at GIZ. Diana. She's such a nice person. Thank you. It's good to see you in person, though. Thank you so much for coming. Edward Seruchacha, thank you very much for coming as well. We appreciate you so much. All right, we will shortly be hearing from our guest of honor. I think she has a lot of questions to answer. Miss Pauline Nansamba Mutumba. All guns have been pointed at you to some extent, so we're here to feed off your palms shortly. But before, I would love to invite our Mugole, ABUBAKER LUBOWA. When the guest of honor speaks, you don't speak again. So I would love to give you 2 minutes or 3 minutes to come and speak to us shortly, and then I invite the guest of honor to come and speak. After that, we will be out of this place. Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA, you're very welcome. Karibu Sebo. Can we clap for him? Mr. LUBOWA is our Mugole, like you can see how he's dressed. You're welcome, sir.
Well, the guest of honor, the vice president of the Radical New Bar, and your members of council, all the panelists, I think there is one panelist we haven't gotten to know well. That's James Onen, Fat Boy. You remember on Sanyo FM? So people might wonder why he's not fat, but he's Fat Boy. Anyway, my name is ABUBAKER LUBOWA. I am a photojournalist and a proud at that. I've been in this industry for years now. We are celebrating 12 years. And I think, let me start with thanking all of you for coming. I am really honored. I want to thank you, for spending all your time and come. And then I would also want to thank the Daily Monitor. These guys employed me when I was a young man. I now have a beard. I'm even beginning to start thinking about retirement and everything. But they are saying, we still need you. If other people in other offices are not leaving, why are you leaving? So, so I'm still around. One thing I would also want to thank about the Daily Monitor is the freedom they give us to express ourselves when we are doing our job. They will never sit on an image because because of how people are going to view it the next day. The day I took the other picture of the soldiers, it was run on the front page of Monitor, and I remember I received a phone call from State House. Someone told me, why don't you leave our soldiers? What exactly do you want from our soldiers? But the good thing with the camera, it's not like you guys who draw art, that you sit and think about what to draw. The camera will give you what it sees. So that's the difference we have in our art. And may I appreciate that, because I'm not concocting any story. It's the stories that are ripe and ready for us to be told. I would also want to thank the president of the Radical Nuba, Isaac Semakade. Please help me, and we give him. I met Mr. President some years back. For us, when I'm with him, I normally call him Isaac, sometimes Kimaze, sometimes Semakade. But Mr. President, sir, wherever you are and you're watching, I would like to thank you. I've always thought about having an exhibition, but there are few places in this country where we can have such things. Some places were personalized, like Normal Gallery. It's a place where every artist would love to go and showcase their work. And I think it's safe even if you leave your work there for some good time. I don't think anyone can steal an art piece from there because of the security around it. But the thing was was personalized. It's not easy for you to access. But giving me your offices as an art gallery, it tells a lot about what you think about me, what you think about photography, and what you think about journalism in this country. Uganda Law Society, of course, when he brought the idea, they had a chance of refusing because, of course, he's the president, but he's leading with other people, and they had a chance of refusing. I would also want to thank Uganda Law Society for accepting me to exhibit my work from here. I feel it's a safe place. The last time I exhibited some of the work, it was, of course, it was an exhibition by Uganda Press Photo Awards, and some of my images had won some awards and they had to be pinned. when police officers were passing, they put them down because they said one of the pictures is the one where they are pulling the boxers of the man they were arresting. They said they were portraying police in a very bad image. And since then, I refused to submit my pictures again for any awards in this country, apart from ACME. But then I was like, I think I should let other people also, when you recognized and get an award, there's that energy that you feel. So, President, wherever you are, I appreciate you. I want to thank you for the opportunity. The other thing I want to tell you is I have not put in any penny, not even a single shilling in all what you're seeing here. It has been Uganda Law Society. When you look at them, you may think this is a very easy job. But printing on this kind of material is one of the most expensive materials that we have in this country. And that's the opportunity they have given me to showcase my work using the most expensive material. Who am I, guys? Please clap for me. Who am I? Anyway, I would also want to thank my colleagues. We do the same job, the journalists in this country. You guys overtrust me and make me feel like I'm your God in everything that we do. You overtrust, make me that brave journalist in this country, because I know I have colleagues who support me. Whenever I lift my head up to fight for the press freedom, I know I have a backing, and that keeps me moving. Of course, it's not easy. I rarely introduce my wife because of her such. I want her to be safe and everything. But today I've introduced her, of course, even on social media. I appreciate you, lady. Please come. Please come. I appreciate her for always standing strong. It's not easy to have a man who moves out and you don't know whether he will return or he will not return. Especially when you're heading for the elections and everything. It's always hard for them. And I would also want to appreciate every woman or every lady who's a wife to a journalist. And every man who's a husband to a journalist. It's not easy. It's not easy. I remember in the 2016 elections, I was in the camp covering Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi, and every time you would go back to I don't know why I keep referring to 2016. In 2021, I was covering the NUP candidate, Robert Kyagulanyi. And every time I would enter into the room that I had gotten, I would say, thank you, God, I'm still alive. Because tear gas would start from the first rally to the last rally, to the extent that one of the days we had to sleep on the streets. As journalists, you don't just run away because the person you're covering is sleeping on the streets and then you move and go to the hotels and enjoy the warmth of a blanket. No. What if something bad happens in the night when you're in the hotels? So we also had to squeeze into the cars that were around, and that's where we caught our sleep from. And I remember on that day, we had already moved to Masindi, but we were told that he had been denied access to hotels. And then we had to drive. We reached at around 1 a.m. in the night. So it's hard. At times we go empty stomach, during the 2021 elections, you would find when all the shops in the city, all the shops are closed. You don't have, you can't find a bottle of water, you can't find an open restaurant. So we had to persevere all the pain and everything. Anyway, away from that, and let me tell you one very important thing that when I met the president, what he told me. You know, there's that thing in my head that journalists in this country should be one, though there are people who are always fighting so that they divide us. When I met him, we had organized the media dinner. He told me, you have a very good idea that is going to be stolen from you. So he advised me and my other colleague, my partner, Maxensia Nyanjura, she's there. Please wave to the people. We registered the media dinner into a company, and we are now into doing, I don't want to call it social media, but we have very good work that we are doing with our colleague, Patty Rick Films. But we are working, and I know we'll be there for, at some point. But as I wind up, the work you see here, like I said, is a drop in an ocean. There are so many things that I have in store. And at one point, I am intending to have a book about my work as a photojournalist in this country. And then the other thing I think I should also work on is training more people. I have colleagues, we had started that initiative, but somehow we were kicked off balance, but I know we will get there. I've seen my brother Nicholas Bamlanzechi is part of the colleagues we celebrate in photojournalism, but it's something that we are thinking about. What have I forgotten? Patience and Afra. Please clap for those two people. I've disturbed those ladies in the past days, and I think when they go to bed, they will have a rest after this is done today. Thank you, Uganda Law Society, Zenson Art Studio. What should I say? Dorothy, thank you so much. Guys, please, if you feel like there is that art piece that you would want to be in your office, there is going to be a prize that my colleagues are working on. Someone was telling me, why didn't you put a fee on your work? I mean, even the entrance fee and everything. Excuse me. I told them, at least we can keep that money in case you want to buy an art piece. We have a chance. Everything in life is not about money. There's that legacy that you should always live in life. This was a paid-for exhibition. But if you feel you want any of these images in your office, you are free to talk to us and we will get you one. I want to thank you and thank everybody. Please, if I have forgotten you, this microphone is not easy. We normally forget people, but I want to thank my family. I want to thank my brothers and sisters who always support me. My mother always, something small about what my mom always tells me.
mwana wange gwe lwaki tebakuwa n'okavalingako ku Museveni eyo opposition nga bagenda kuttirayo. That why doesn't office also give you and then you cover the president? Because this side of opposition is a bit harsh for you and everything. But I've always told her one thing: there is always God to protect us. The God who protected us in Kawempe after we are abducted and tortured will always protect us. And these are assignments that are given to us by office, and that's, I want to make it clear to the guys in the ruling party and in security that we are assigned by office depending on what they want to have and depending on how safe they feel we are. So they feel I'm safe, that side, and they also, when they assign me to cover the president, they also feel. My brother Solomon, please come. I want to talk about you when you're near me so that you take over the microphone as soon as I finish. This gentleman is a very busy man, like we all know. He has given me free services. At least we all know hiring Solomon Serwanja might take you $1 million. Plus, he's giving me a free service and I'm not paying him anything. Please, Solomon, I want to thank you. And I want to thank whoever has spared time to be here. UPPA, you guys have made a great job in mentoring and shaping photographers in this country. I want to thank you. Uganda Law Society, thank you.
I never knew that ABUBAKER talks like this. He's usually sometimes a shy person. He loves to take pictures. Today he was in the limelight, and we've been taking his pictures. Another round of applause to one of the most celebrated photojournalists of our time. Thank you very much for your service to this nation. We appreciate you. We want to say a special thank you to our partners who have made this event possible. The Frederick Ebert Stiftang, thank you very much. To GIZ for the support you have given us as Uganda Law Society, the Danish Refugee Council, the Norwegian Refugee Council, UN Women, IDLO, and other partners. Thank you for making this event possible. It's now time for us to put our hands together and invite the Vice President to come and invite our guest of honor to give her remarks. Vice President, you're very welcome to invite our chief guest.
Thank you once again, Solomon. And I know it's been a long day. We've had a lot. Just to put this into context, most of the people you see here are partners who we believe are very important in as far as the protection, promotion, and the fight for media freedom is concerned, and other rights. And we are privileged to have the Uganda Human Rights Commission with us here. We do not take this for granted. So let me take this singular honor to invite Ms. Pauline Nansamba Mutumba, who is our chief guest, to come and give her remarks. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. And just for the record, I am representing the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission. So she is the one who is the chief guest. But before I read her remarks verbatim, I'll just say something small since I'm in the room. My name is Pauline Nansamba Mutumba. I'm the Director, Complaints, Investigations and Legal Services at the Uganda Human Rights Commission, and I'm a proud member of Uganda Law Society. So what I'm going to say in that capacity. I'd like to thank the President of the Uganda Law Society, Mr. Semakade, who, for the record, when he was presenting his manifesto, found it necessary and relevant to come to the Uganda Human Rights Commission. So for those who feel that the commission is dead on arrival, at least I know that the president felt that it was important that we engage as partners. And Mr. Semakade, I know he's not a man of decorum, so he won't mind me calling him Mr. Semakade, but he's also my classmate. We were at law school together and at LDC together. So Mr. Semakade came and made his presentation on his 4 Ds. And the two that stood out for me particularly were decolonization and democratization. And in his typical style of the radical new bar, he expressed the need to raise everything to the ground. Those were his words. And so after he spoke, I asked him a question and said, Mr. Semakade, I hear you on these 4 Ds, but I'm concerned about the methodology that you're choosing. And Mr. Semakade came straight in my face. You know how he is. He came right direct in my face and screamed at me and said, we must raise it all to the ground. When it is all down in the ground, you, Miss Goody Two-Shoes, in your high heels, can come and build it up again. And this morning, I remembered that as I was putting on my high heels. I'll just show you. They are not very high. I'll just show them. I remembered his comments as I put on my high heels this morning, and I may have misconstrued him. But what I understood him to mean was that we need each other. And for me, this invitation by the Uganda Law Society to the Uganda Human Rights Commission to be here, to be in the room, and have these conversations tells me that we are partners and we need each other. So I would like to appreciate Mr. Semakade for that, and to express our commitment as Uganda Human Rights Commission that we will be partners and we will listen, we will take the criticism. Mr. Mavirizi, my friend, I appreciate your frustration at receiving a letter 11 years after you lodged a complaint, and I can assure you that the commission as currently constituted is working to make sure that redress is provided where it will be provided in as short a time as possible. And we receive the comments and criticism in good light. I would also like to take this opportunity to appreciate Nation Media Group on behalf of our chairperson for giving her flowers, as we say in this day and age. There's the front page of the Daily Monitor on the 6th of May, 2025, under the headline, Sober Heads in Mutwe's Arrest. And the chairperson was one of the 4 figures that I saw on that, and would like to appreciate Nation Media Group for that, and to appreciate Mr. LUBOWA. Mr. LUBOWA, I had only seen your name in the complaints that we received during the Kawempe, arising from the Kawempe by-election, but it's a privilege to meet you, and just to celebrate the power of photography in human rights advocacy. As the Uganda Human Rights Commission, it's one of the dreams that we have to have a human rights museum, a place where we can tell the story of where we've come from, because as we all know, pictures don't need much explanation. They speak for themselves, and they move where words may not be able to move. I'll not speak into the issues of AI, because we didn't quite get the context of AI. Our understanding was this was a celebration of Mr. LUBOWA, but just to say generally that from a human rights perspective, our concerns around AI would possibly touch on any areas of possible manipulation or abuse of individual rights and other rights that accrue as people express themselves in the digital spaces. With those few opening remarks, please allow me to present the remarks of the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission. The President of the Uganda Law Society and your council, Senior Counsel present, distinguished members of the bar, members of civil society, esteemed members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this invitation. I am honored to address you on issues of law, media, and human rights, topics that sit at the heart of our Constitution. Let me start by clearing the air. Yes, I am an enrolled advocate. In fact, I began practice in Mbale in 1993, over 30 years ago. So to those who once questioned my enrollment, rest assured, Wangadia has walked the legal path. But today I speak not only as an advocate, I speak as someone who has lived the history etched into the preamble of our Constitution, which says, we, the people of Uganda, recalling our history, which has been characterized by political and constitutional instability. That turbulent past inspired the Odoki Commission to recommend a bold and independent body, a watchdog with teeth, a commission strong enough to stand between power and the people. That institution is the Uganda Human Rights Commission. Our mandate is broad, it is clear, and it is constitutional. Under Article 52, we investigate human rights violations, we inspect prisons and detention centers, we advise Parliament on laws that risk undermining human rights. We promote constitutional awareness, and we monitor compliance with international human rights standards. We do not do this alone, but in partnership. Our collaboration with civil society is anchored in the Paris Principles, and one of our most consistent partners has been the Uganda Law Society. Through your legal aid project, we refer cases better suited for judicial redress and complainants who need support. Let me take this opportunity to appreciate ULS for poaching one of our own, Ms. Afra Apio, now your head of rule of law. We are proud of her and of the values she carries with her. Last week, I addressed the launch of World Press Freedom Day at the Uganda Media Center. After my speech, a young journalist named Irene from BBS Telefaina approached me. She told me that Edward Sebufu, alias Eddie Mutwe, had been picked up and taken to an unknown location. I dismissed her. I thought it was another rumor. I was wrong. Eddie Mutwe had indeed been picked up. He was incommunicado. And with a commission, got to work. Having satisfied ourselves that Eddie Mutwe was in unlawful custody and possibly being tortured, according to the narrative on the official X-handle of the Chief of Defense Forces, we issued a release order in accordance with our constitutional powers under Article 53(2) of the Constitution. This was in addition to looking for him physically in exercise of our powers to inspect all places of detention under Article 52(1)(c) of the Constitution. On Monday, the country saw what we found. Mr. Sebufu was produced in Masaka High Court, charged, seen, accounted for. We have since visited him in Masaka prison. We have taken his statement. Investigations are ongoing. And the last report I got, this is not but the last report I got from this morning was that his party, the new president and some other colleagues had been able to access him yesterday, I believe it was. So our investigations are ongoing, and the law will guide us on the most appropriate next steps. In the same breath, let me appreciate social media. When I issued the release order last Friday, it was the internet that spread that message far and wide. This was not the first time that the press or digital media played a critical watchdog role. I recall a video from Mbarara where 4 police officers dragged an elderly woman as they were trying to get her off her land. We saw it on social media, So did the Inspector General of Police. Swift action followed. The officers were discharged with disgrace and are now facing criminal charges. In another case, a Muslim girl was publicly flogged by her own family for praying at a church. The police acted, perpetrators were arrested and charged. These stories remind us of one truth: information saves lives. The media is not just a storyteller, it is a first responder in the chain of accountability. As we look ahead to the 2026 elections, we must stay vigilant. Freedom of speech, assembly, and expression, as articulated in Article 29(1) of the Constitution, must be respected. The Uganda Human Rights Commission is watching. We are not on anyone's side. We are on the side of the Constitution. Our independence is not optional. It is constitutional and it is non-negotiable. We resist all interference, whether from state or non-state actors. That independence must be respected, even when it is inconvenient. Too often, some only applaud our independence when we rule against the state. But justice must cut both ways. We are not here to please anyone. We are here to uphold the law. This engagement today is not a formality for us. It is a rallying point. The rule of law is not a slogan, it is a way of life. And all of us, lawyers, journalists, activists, must live this way of life. I want to salute Mr. ABUBAKER LUBOWA for his recognition today. And I honor all media practitioners who continue to report with courage, responsibility, and truth. Protecting rights is not the duty of one institution, it is the duty of every citizen. Many are quick to ask, what is government doing? What is the commission doing? But I ask you instead, what is in your hand? Use it. Use your camera, use your pen, use your voice in court, use your reach on social media, use your platform as a lawyer, use your space as a journalist. Stand up for the truth. Because in the end, the Constitution is only as strong as those who defend it. I thank you once again and wish you fruitful, fearless, and focused deliberations for God and my country.
Pauline, thank you very much. The last statement is interesting. The Constitution is as strong as those that defend it. Wow. What a way to close this session. Thank you very much. Another round of applause to our chief guest. I've had an opportunity of interviewing the Honorable Wangadia on my show, The Hard Questions. You should go and watch it. I think it was a nice episode. It's online. All right. When the chief guest speaks, no one else speaks. But I would love us to have a couple of photo moments, and then we'll break for lunch. I would love us to get, firstly, the front bench to take pictures. The official photographers, please take note. We have, can we have it, can they fit? Can we fit here, really? Okay. Okay. Here, okay.
Yes, we want to have a look for this.
Thank you, Mr. Chief. Thank you for hosting us. We really appreciate it. Mr. Boga, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
Otter provides a comprehensive DTF
Terwanja, have a lovely afternoon.